Hey everybody, how ya doing out there? Mr. Bookman here, and today I will be reading Bigger Than a Dream by Jeff, Aerts, and Marit Tornqvist. Please enjoy. Bigger Than a Dream. The first time I heard her, I was sitting at the table eating some marzipan. Suddenly there was rustling in the ear. I tried to wiggle it out with my finger. After taking another bite, I heard soft whispering. I looked left at the clocking radiator, right at the aquarium, down at my bare feet, up at the cockadoo clock. The house was full of noises, but none of them whispered like this. Brother, I stopped chewing. It sounded miles away, but close too. Shut your eyes, the little voice shouted. Straining to be heard, I blinked and took a deep breath. Mom was cutting up cucumbers in the kitchen. Dad was reading the paper. Cover your ears. I cupped my hands, pressed them against the sides of my head. The cucumber slice fell silently. The newspaper had stopped crinkling. That was when I knew it was her. Nobody can call as quickly as my big sister. Her loudest scream is just a sigh. Her loudest yell no more than the breathing of a cat. Her photos is on the wall above the table. It's not colored like mine. It's gray with yellow sheen. Shall we, she says, called. What? I blocked my ears and listened as hard as I could. Go for a bike ride. I knew you can do a lot when you're dead, but you can make conversations flutter and you can make people cry. People put on solemn voices when they say your name, and just thinking of you makes them dig each other. But going for a bike ride, I'll take you out tonight, she screamed. I nodded even though I was completely baffled. I can't forget the marzipan. That night, I didn't fall asleep. I kept the marzipan hidden under my pajamas. What's going through the mind of yours? Mom said after turning off the light. I'm going to die too, he asked. One day, but not yet. Does it hurt? Everything goes quiet, she said. Dying is like dreaming, but bigger. Suddenly, she was standing next to my bed and pulling on the sheets. I had never seen her in real life before. Her photo turned gray before I was born. Get up, she said, her voice as loud as anyone else. Now, it's time. There were many things I wanted to ask her. Do you get hiccups when you're dead? Do you talk to yourself under the ground? Is it really quiet down there, or do you get music sometimes too? If you can make a wish, would you come back to life? But I didn't say a word. I slipped out of bed, pulled on my slippers. I always get blisters when I ride without shoes on. There were two bikes in the shed. Sis took the bigger one. Don't laugh, she said. It's my first time. Haven't you ever ridden a bike before? I was too small, but I'm not doing all right, aren't I? If you're dead, you don't need training wheels. We rode around the yard first, then shot up the drive and out onto the street. It led down a steep hill. Sis put her feet up on the handlebars. Isn't that dangerous? Nothing can hurt me anymore, she said, and stuck her hands up in the air too. On we rode through the woods, beneath the Mulholland hills, across the stream. On the green, we braked hard to see who could leave the longest skid mark. Sis found it really easy. She seemed to float over the pass, and I started to float too. Soon we were up above the trees. The leaves cluttered against our spokes, and we fridged the sleeping birds off, triggered the sleeping birds off their branches with our bells. Above, as the moon was lantern in the night, we tried to climb the high, but it took too long, and halfway up, she got a better idea. There's something I want to show you, she said, pedaling as hard as she could in the opposite direction. We followed a long path to a white church. Sis jumped off her bike and ran into the graveyard. I recognized the spot. Sometimes I went there with Dad to lay flowers. Weird, huh? She said she went down on her knees. I'm kneeling on my own grave. What's in it? I asked. Oh, there's a coffin down there. That's where I keep my skeleton. Don't you need one when you're dead? She looked at me the way big sisters look at their silly little brothers. From the graveyard, we rode to the hospital. She pointed out a window on one of the top floors. That was my room. I didn't know where to look. Sis took me to a park she once played in. There was a big lake with seagulls sleeping on posts. She walked into the jetty, climbed into a boat, and untied the rope. All at once I felt myself growing sad, and it wasn't ordinary sadness. It was something I've always felt. It was old, dried out sadness. It covers the walls of our home like wallpaper. Sometimes you find it in mom's soup, in the jobs dad did around the house, or in a woolly hat for when it's cold. "You're coming," she called, swinging the oar so hard the boat rocked dangerously from side to side. I sat down next to her on the bench and pulled out the marzipan. "This is something I've always wanted to taste," she said, breaking off one piece. She put one in her tongue and the other on mine. "Mom," she said. I said, "Mom, too, nothing else." When the moon was almost touching the ground, we rode back home. She shook the wind off our hair and patted the night out of our clothes, then climbed into bed together. Sis snuggled up against me. I wondered whether Mom or Dad would laugh or cry if they saw us laying here like this. I couldn't decide. We fell to sleep with her stomach pressing against my back. When I woke up, she was gone. I felt the mattress for the hollow where she had lain. "I saw Sis last night," I said at breakfast. "Dad had put on some music and the house smelled of freshly baked bread." "Really?" Mom asked. "Yes," I said. "She was bigger than a dream." Wow. I guess his sister came to visit him. Has that anything ever happened to any of you like that? That someone has passed away and they come to visit you? Has that ever happened to any of you? Let me know in the comment box with a thumbs up if that's ever happened to any of you before. Just curious. Well, everybody, if you enjoyed this story time, give it a thumbs up and share it. If you're new and came along this story time, hit that red subscribe button down below and subscribe to my channel and check out my other readings I got. But again, everyone, y'all take it easy out there and have a fantastic one. Until next time, I am Mr. Bookman, and this story time is over. Have a good one, and take care.